Today on this 2005 Cadillac SRX, we're going to be installing Hidden Hitch part number 87661. This installation will also apply for Draw-Tite Hitch part number 75174. We're underneath the vehicle and we need to do a couple things in preparation to getting our hitch installed. We need to first lower the spare tire down and get it out of our way. And then we also need to go ahead and remove the exhaust off of both sides of the vehicle. There are 3 exhaust brackets per side that we need to remove the exhaust off of. 2 here at the rear, 1 at the forward side of the exhaust, just to the outboard side of the heat shield. To lower the exhaust off of the rubber hangers, we want to take a spray lubricant and go ahead and spray down the studs. And you can take a pry bar, if necessary, and go ahead and pull those right off of there. I do want to note that before you finish off with all 6 of the rubber hangers, you do want to put some type of a support strap across the forward side of the exhaust tubes, because once you remove the exhaust off of all the hangers, the exhaust could fall and damage the system. With the exhaust lowered off of its hangers, we want to go back to the rearmost exhaust bracket that's attached nearest the bumper. There's 1 on each side. We need to go ahead and remove the exhaust bracket from the vehicle. To do this, there are 3 bolts holding it on. There's 1 here, 1 at the lower side, and then 1 on the outboard side. With the nuts removed, we can go ahead and remove the exhaust bracket. We do need to remove that from both sides of the vehicle. With that removed, what we need to do is the bottom stud that was holding the bracket on, this is actually going to need to be cut, and we're not going to reuse it to put the exhaust bracket back up. The reason is it's going to interfere with us using this weld nut right here at the bottom of the frame. So you want to try to cut it as close to the bulkhead as you can. The lower studs cut off of each side. We can go ahead and point out the mounting location for the trailer hitch. See here at the bottom of the frame rail, we've got 3 existing weld nuts. These are going to provide our 3 attaching points for our trailer hitch on both the driver's and passenger sides. We're going to be using new 12mm bolts along with conical tooth washers to fasten the hitch to the vehicle. These weld nuts are likely going to have some corrosion and road grime built up in them, so it's a good idea to thoroughly clean them out before we attempt to put the hitch up in position. To do this, you want to use a spray lubricant, spray the weld nuts down thoroughly, and then you just want to take a wire brush and run that inside the weld nuts a few times. And what that's going to do is loosen up that road grime and rust that's built up in there. You may need to do this a couple times to ensure that the bolt will go in properly. And again, you want to do this at all 6 of the weld nut locations. We have a heat shield on both sides of the frame rail here, and we are going to need to modify the heat shield a little bit. And what we're going to need to cut is basically this area here, straight down on both heat shields on the driver's and passenger sides. Kind of cut this section and fold it out of the way, or you can completely cut it off. If you do decide to try to fold it, you need to make sure that it's not going to interfere with your spare tire when you put it back up in position. And with the heat shield modified, one more thing we need to do is to go ahead and put the exhaust brackets back up into position. Again, we're attaching to the 2 upper bolts, the lower one we cut off previously. And then you just want to make sure you fully tighten it down. We want to go ahead and put the hitch up in position now. Now that we've got the hitch up in position and all the fasteners in place, we can go ahead and go through and torque our bolts down. You want to verify with the directions the specific torque rating for each of the bolts. Then with our bolts torqued down, we just want to put our exhaust back up on its hangers and put our spare tire back up into place, and our installation will be complete. And now that we've got our hitch installed, we want to go ahead and give you a couple of final dimensions that'll help make choosing your hitch accessories a little bit easier. From the top of the receiver tube opening to the ground is going to measure 15 3/8 inches, and from the center of the pinhole to clear the rear edge of the bumper is going to measure approximately 1.5 inches. This will conclude the installation of Hidden Hitch part number 87661 on a 2005 Cadillac SRX.